Get us into how to define our target market, how to use the knowledge of our target market to our advantage, some of the differences between certain terminology and things in marketing so that you can better understand how to use the tools that you have to gain exposure for your businesses. So by now you have done the basic planning for your business. We had our great talk from Naja. She helped us to structure our life so that our business, didn't control us, so that we were in control of our business. And then we had a great talk from Mike and Sandra about how to get our funds in order, how to do the proper financial planning so that we can plan for rainy days, so we can plan for families, business budgets, slow months, and even retirement. So now what I want to do is really talk about how to get those customers in to make that money so that you can fuel all of those other plans that we talked about so far. So let's see, first we're going to do a short evaluation of our businesses. And it's basically just a series of questions so that you guys can get a better understanding of what you're selling, who you're selling it to, and how to sell it to them properly. And then we're going to actually work on a target market worksheet where we're going to sit here and define for you one niche that you can then go out and focus on for the next 2-3 months or however long that you plan to do that. And then we're going to talk about the differences between marketing, advertising, and PR so that you know which to use when. And then we're going to send you home with 3 tasks that will get you started on the path to more exposure and ultimately more customers. So, if you will turn with me in that handy dandy workbook to page 21, we're going to do our marketing evaluation first. And so, like I said, basically this is just to give you an idea of exactly what you're selling, all the details behind your product or your service, everything that's special about your company, and then how you relate to your competitors. So our first question, what is the product or service you want to sell? I know that sounds really elementary to some people, but sometimes we get so overwhelmed or we get into a recession like this where we want to do it all, which we talked about, in some of our previous talks, that we do not properly focus on a few products that we can best deliver to our market. So just take a little bit of time to define exactly what product or service you're providing to your market. Okay, and then will your product be sold to businesses or to consumers? Knowing this will help you to better formulate your approach. If you're selling to both businesses and consumers, that's fine, but what you need to realize is that there's actually going to be a different approach for each of those markets. So go ahead right now and take a little bit of time to classify yourself as business to business, business to customer, or both. Okay, now we're on to the features. What do you know about your product or service? Are there any facts, any statistics, any specifications about your product that your market would need to know in order to decide whether or not your product is the right thing for them? What if it's a service? If it's a service, one thing I recommend is thinking about whether or not there's any conclusive studies, any case studies that show how that service has helped people, any surveys or polls that you might have conducted or someone else has.
What about real-world examples?
Real-world examples are also very good. Testimonials are what that would be.
I think about that because of when I'm talking about insurance coverage, I have a couple examples of really bad accidents that have caused death and how the coverage was there or wasn't there and the effects.
That's a very good point. So life examples as well, testimonials from people, all of those are very good instances for both products and services. Okay, and so the benefits. What will your product or service do for people? Does it solve a problem? Does it save them money? Does it save them time? Does it make a task easier? A good example, I'm a big fan of a product called Article Submitter. That product makes it faster and easier and more streamlined for me to submit my original content to publishers, content distributors, you know, people who may be publishing books, people who would be journalists writing in newspapers, so that I don't have to take the time to find every single resource and then manually submit my articles. So it saves me time, it saves me money, it makes my job easier.
What's it called?
Article Submitter.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, and then the next is my favorite part. This is your unique selling proposition, also known as your USP. What is it about your product or service that is really different, new, better, or unique? You can afford to get a little bit salesy here because you are actually promoting what makes you unique. A good example of this would be a really good friend of ours and a woman who's in our networking group runs a chiropractic practice with her husband, but they don't do the general kind of twisting and cracking of your back. They work with your nervous system and they put you in order that way. That's something that's not really heard of when you think of chiropractic, so that would be their unique selling proposition.
Swiss chiropractic? Swiss chiropractic?
Well, no, they actually do network chiropractic. Okay, competition. Can you describe similar products that are out there on the market? Are there products that are currently out there that have a similar size, shape, appearance, function, or price? Try classifying them into direct and indirect competition. This can help you to determine who you need to focus on first, as far as how your message needs to read to your audience, and then who to focus on as a secondary. Okay, positioning. How does this product or service fit into the market relative to competitors? Is it the first of its kind? Is it the cheapest? Is it the highest in quality? Do you have proof of those claims? Proof is something that is very, very important to the consumer market these days. Is there something that can be viewed or tested by consumers in order to verify your proof? Okay, the next part is all about you, your company. Does the company have a special history? Is there a unique owner? What is the story behind how your business came into being? Have you won any awards? Do you have specific certifications? These kind of things are important for items that you would need for marketing collateral, like your media kits, your executive summaries. These are the kind of things that you would want to give to the press when you're doing, you know, your press rooms online or in public, when you're doing your press releases and press conferences.
Could you just repeat that?
Sure. I was asking, you know, does your company have a special history? Is there a unique owner? Have you won awards? And I was saying that this kind of information is good for media kits and executive summaries. Okay, now your price. How much does your product or service cost? While the pricing on the whole, you know, it could be another seminar in and of itself. It's an important part of your marketing plan because you want to make sure that your pricing is competitive in relation to, you know, your closest direct competitors in the market. You want to stay within a competitive range, and if you're not sure about this, you can definitely talk to, you know, a business consultant or financial advisors who can help you get those, you know, projections that you put into your business plan, as well as, you know, the goals that you have for your life plan.